Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going over another article that Bandai posted showcasing us one of their development team's deck profiles. This is a little bit older. I do like doing these videos, but obviously a lot of other stuff came out, like the ban list and set 14 content, stuff like that. So this kind of got put on the back burner, but I did want to revisit it today. They've actually done, I think, 4 decks for set 14. So if you guys like this video, let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely talk about the other ones. It's just pretty cool to see like where Bandai's building philosophy is at, you know, compared to the players and how they kind of rationale and explain cards. So today Bandai is going to teach us how to play Green Majin Buu from set 14. So it should be pretty cool. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And if you guys want to help support the channel, there are many ways down in the description. If you want to buy or pre-order any of the cards you see in today's video, or any trading card game cards for that matter, use my link in the description to TCG Player. It does help out a lot. Anyways, we'll get into the video. We are on the official Dragon Ball Super card game website under strategy, where they posted, again, I think it's like 4 different deck lists. There's like, I saw Super 17, I saw Red Gohan, I saw Buu. I don't know what the last one was, but we can go over all of them if you guys want to see the lists. Anyways, let's read what they got to say. So, announcement: dev team column, UW5 Majin Buu deck showcase. Greetings, Dragon Ball Super card game fans. The Majin Buu SCR has finally been unveiled. The Majin Buu Kibito Kai Absorb depicts Majin Buu following his absorption of Kibito Kai. To convey his enormous power, we've given him the ability to steal your opponent's Unison cards, recreating Buu's absorption ability while providing an ability that can turn the game around in an instant. We hope you get a chance to try out his powers for yourself. So a ruling thing I'll mention here, when this card was first revealed, we weren't sure how it was going to be ruled, because as far as I'm aware, the rules say you can only play one Unison to your Unison area, but I guess taking control doesn't count as playing, which is why when you take like your opponent's battle cards, for example, you don't get their on-play effects, which makes sense. So there was like a little bit of time that people were playing this as if you could control 2 Unisons, but I believe that they put in the FAQ, at least David Fashbeiner, one of the head judges of the game, has said that no, if you take control of a Unison, your Unison that you had will go to the drop area, and then you take your opponent's Unison and it basically takes the place of the Unison that you had. So with that in mind, let's take a look at UW5 Majin Buu deck featuring Majin Buu Kibito Kai Absorbed. So we have their deck list in card form here. It's also written down here pretty nicely, but I'd rather take a look at the pictures just to make sure we're on the same page seeing what they have. So starting off with the Buu engine itself for Babidi, I do think Babidi is really good in this deck. Like, it seems like a pretty mediocre Unison at first, but it is actually pretty solid, because if you do what the deck is supposed to do, which is drop Mighty Absorption Majin Buu, the 4-drop here, it actually is really tanky. They can't really attack into it. I've been going back and forth in my own Buu builds about playing like 2, 3, 4 copies of Babidi. And the only reason I'm playing 4 right now is because there are some matchups where like you actually want to cast Babidi on 1, as long as you know your opponent can't take all 3 markers off on turn 1. If they can, you play like a 1-drop Buu on turn 1, for example, and then, you know, you search your Babidi for turn 2, and then you can play it turn 2, and by that point the tankiness of protection will be online. So that's 2 different ways to go about it. For 1-drops, they're playing a total of 8. I'm playing 7 right now. I think 8 is pretty much fine. 4 of the Ultimate Despair Majin Buu. Again, it's okay. I play 3. I mean, it's pretty much a spot removal anytime you need it for 2 energy. So 3 to 4 I think is fine. 3 Majin Buu Mighty Absorption I also think is fine, because you can play it from the deck or the drop area, so you don't really need to run a full playset. Majin Buu, the 5-drop, I think it's Ultimate Destruction or Unadulterated Destruction. I don't know. I'm still not sold on this card, man. I don't think it's really good. I've never had it dropped on me and was like, wow, the game is over. You know, it gives your opponent that fighting chance, which like I think is good from like a card balance design perspective. But for 5 energy, at the point where the game is now, you better be doing a lot for 5 energy, and 5-drop Buu, in my opinion, just doesn't cut it. But of course, we have 2 of the Majin Buu Unadulterated Malice are basically topo for the deck. We're main decking Majin Buu thwarting the enemy for some reason. I don't know why. Wicked Mimicry, not a great card. You can use it for free by discarding a card if they attack your Unison, and you can spawn a token by using Spirit Boost. But the counters that have Spirit Boost effects, it's nice that they're optional, so you can Spirit Boost 0 them. But it's just weird that they have Spirit Boost in general, because it's kind of counterintuitive. Like, you'd be negating an attack to like protect a marker on Unison, right? But you have to take a marker off of it anyway if you want to use some sort of effect, so it's a little weird. 3 Kakunsa, just a good green card, and this is not really a hand control based deck, so that should be live more often than not. That makes it kind of weird they're playing the 2 rebrands, because again, it's just like a really weird splash where literally nothing else in the deck does hand control things, so it's pretty strange. 3 charismatic villain should probably be 4. The card is just absolutely insane. Defending Father Paragus, excellent super combo. I personally go with Great Saiyan Man because sometimes you want to put your Mighty Absorption Majin Buus back in the deck to be Union Absorbed out of the deck, but either one is fine. 4 Dormants, of course, 2 Homicidal Clones, and they're adopting the Fighting Against Fate and the Hidden Power E Supreme Kai tech that pretty much every other deck plays. This is kind of cool. This kind of shows that Bandai is paying attention to the metagame, and, you know, why else would they be playing this random Overwhelm and not like a Man on a Mission, or maybe like the Toa that gives your leader plus 5k and makes them discard a card. That would be a little bit more thematic, but of course, Fighting Against Fate is probably the best Overwhelm in the game next to Secret Identity Masked Sand, right? So, of course, that's my opinions on their list, but we can go over what Bandai is thinking here. So, deck concept. This is a mid-range deck that uses Union Absorb and Spirit Boost to great effect. The Majin Buu leader's Spirit Boost skill absorbs your opponent's battle cards from their battle area or drop area. He even absorbs their skills. Man, in testing, I find it so difficult to actually be able to absorb a battle card with a relevant thing. So often I find myself absorbing blockers, and it's just so frustrating because you can't really do anything with that. But a couple times I've gotten like a 4-drop Bojack for dual attack. That's cool. Would have been nice if the leader was not a once per turn for attacking and drawing, but it is what it is, I guess. So where were we? What could be more Buu-like than exterminating your opponent's best fighters while powering up? True. Majin Buu, the Never-Ending Absorber, and Majin Buu Absorption Scheme both have Unit Absorb, helping you play mid-sized battle cards for little cost. Energy you have left over can be used on either offense or defense as the situation dictates, a strength of any good mid-range deck. Very well put, Bandai. I do actually like the way they phrase that, because I am a big mid-range player, and I like the way they kind of phrase that. So deck goals. We have Majin Buu Unadulterated Destruction is the deck's finisher, and playing it is the final goal you should be aiming to reach. The on-play auto skill obliterates the board and even drains 2 cards out of your opponent's hand to help fuel your leader card's skill activations. Its permanent skill, meanwhile, shuts down attacks while forcing discard, disrupting your opponent's plans and keeping your life total safe. One thing certain, getting this card on the board will change the game in an instant. So that last line of text there is pretty much true, but it does contradict the fact that it's the deck's finisher. Like, if it was the deck's finisher, you should be winning the game each turn you play it. It's not really a finisher. It's more like a stepping stone to get you to the finish line, if that makes sense, and you just hope that it kind of gets you there. The bad thing about this card is that it's weak to non-KO removal, non-drop area removal. So I guess it's good against red and green, where if it gets sent to the drop, it can be reborn, basically. But against bouncing and spinning and against warping, it doesn't really do a whole lot, which is a little bit unfortunate. But anyways, early game, play Majin Buu Never-Ending Absorber or Majin Buu Absorption Scheme, and prepare to use Union Absorb to play Majin Buu Mighty Absorption, whose Spirit Boost skill can add Bobbity Wicked Mentor to your hand, one of the deck's key cards. In any case, try to keep 2 cards above in your opening hand. Definitely agree. I ran the numbers on this back when I was playing like Universe 6 Blue Yellow, and I don't remember the exact percentage, but there's not that much a percentage difference if you play 8 copies of a card you want to open versus 7 or 6. Obviously, the statistics are better if you play the total of 8 copies, but you can get away with 7, I think, which is fine. I play 4 of the one that draws and only 3 of the one that top 5 searches, because I feel like you don't always run a ton of Majins in the deck, so I'd rather just get the raw draw. That's just me, in my opinion. Mid-game, we have use Union Absorb and Spirit Boost to maintain the advantage as the game progresses. Bobbity Wicked Mentors in unison with the +2 marker skill, giving you an easy avenue to enabling Spirit Boost on your leader card and battle cards. Majin Buu Ultimate Despair and Majin Buu Mighty Absorption can both be played with Union Absorb to solidify your offense. That's not true. You can't play Majin Buu Ultimate Despair with Union Absorb. It only plays 15k battle cards, so that's a little oversight on Bandai's part, but I guess we'll just kind of brush over that. So anyways, depending on the situation, you can also play Dorm Potential Unleash, Rebrand Punishing Passion, and other cards to flexibly counter aggro and control decks alike. Get Majin Buu Unadulterated Destruction and play by turn 5, and you can build an advantage regardless of your opponent's deck type. So defensive cards, We have Unadulterated Malice is a counter card that forces your opponent to discard every time they attack for the turn. Once your opponent's options are limited, that's your cue to use Unit Absorb to put new battle cards in play, giving you plenty of outs no matter the situation. So it is nice that for the Buu archetype, this guy does have Unit Absorb, so he does have an alternate function after you play him. Because any other green deck you play this guy, for the most part, he's just a 10k body that you're probably just going to combo with, not much else, so that's not bad. Synergistic picks, these are cards they didn't put in the deck but are going to talk about. So Rosy Blast Manipulator, a green discard mainstay and a fantastic choice if you decide to pursue a more discard oriented control strategy. That's the problem with a lot of these green decks they've been creating recently, like Videl and Buu are the big two examples. Green has an identity. It's board control, it's hand control, that kind of stuff. But Videl and Buu, their engines are so vast, you have to play so many cards to make them work that you can't really fit Rosies and rebrands. Like the rebrands they did put in the deck are pretty awkward, if I do say so myself. But anyways, Zarbon Cosmic Elite. This is actually a card I was playing in the Buu deck for a while. A modern green classic that blocks your opponent's attacks and forces discards for cheap. What can't Zarbon do? He's actually not bad in the deck, and that's mostly because the Majin Buu Mighty Absorption does have a discard cost to search your Bobbity. And obviously they banned Beerus Godly Majesty, so you want to play some sort of card that has a synergy with being discarded, and Zarbon is your guy for that one. In closing, well, what do you think? We hope this gave you a few ideas for a Majin Buu deck of your very own, but remember, the cards we introduced today aren't your only choices. Comb through the list and absorb your favorites into a deck to call your very own. So I've definitely given most of my thoughts as we've gone through the article. I love the fact that Bandai does these. It's very cool to see where they're coming from. Not the most competitive aspect as always. Like again, the thwarting the empire or thwarting the enemy Majin Buu, a pretty random include. The rebrands are random only in the sense that they don't really go with the theme of the deck because they're not really playing a discard hand control deck, but it is for the most part what you're going to be looking to play with a Buu deck. For those of you guys that made it to the end, my biggest recommendation for playing Green Buu, play a Goku Tien Long Way to Rematch. That engine, it's a big 8-card engine, but it's probably the best pair of green cards in the game. It's just so good. I recommend playing it. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.